I'm trying to listen for once.
After he says this, I'm gonna say something.
Okay, but I'm saying something before Brody.
Okay, the thing.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna say.
I have something to say.
Just spit it out.
Wait, I
Can I
can't.
actually say
Everyone's
something first?
And it's related to the movie.
Everyone's too busy
Wait, I
saying
have
something.
something.
I'm trying to say one thing.
Can we just spit it out, Troy?
I'm gonna filibuster.
Filibuster podcast.
That's our song. Welcome to the Filibuster podcast.
Troy.
I'm just joking, guys. Welcome to Cinematographically Speaking. We have
Troy.
recently watched a movie called The Castle. It's a 1997 Hanukkah film, and I'm not talking about the holiday baby. I'm talking Mikhail Hanukkah, our one of our faves, one of our old pals,
Michelle Hankanky.
Michelle
I think Hanukkah
Hankajanka.
started. Are we in Hanukkah right now, by the way?
Yes, Hanukkah has begun, so this is
This is the Hanukkah
coincidentally
podcast.
this is our Hanukkah podcast. Yeah,
Yeah. And after that, we'll have a Christmas
and then we're gonna have
podcast.
our Christmas special. Hanukkah doesn't get a special; it just gets
Light
a
the
podcast.
menorah.
That'll be $5.
Latkes and dreidels, everyone.
Anyway, so we watched The Castle. Of course, it's an adaptation of Kafka's The Castle. And, let's see who's up. Who's up first here? It's John.
So this movie, let me tell you, I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good. I was not, like, I may be committing cringe here. I may be in the wrong here, but I wasn't super like crazy moved by it the way that I am by certain other Hanukkah films, but definitely a super cool movie. I did like it a lot. The whole vibe is super interesting. Like, the whole tone is just super particular and super like focused, it feels. And I don't know. I don't know anything about Kafka, so let me just say that I've never read anything by Kafka, so I can't speak to the accuracy of the adaptation and spirit.
Kafkaesque?
I am, but I didn't actually really know what that meant. Yeah, that's good enough. You don't need to read them anymore.
You're like Elon Musk. Elon Musk knows what that means.
Muskaesque.
Elon Musk made a tweet.
Did he?
Did he really?
So did Richard Dawkins.
Nice.
He said something about like the metamorphosis and how it's stupid or something.
Oh my god!
There's a good.
If that was
This is
actually the tweet, that's so funny.
Yeah,
dude.
no, it was like pretty recent. He was like, "I don't understand the metamorphosis. It's so stupid and doesn't mean anything."
There's a good.
That's awesome.
There's a good Onion video.
That's so brain dead.
There's a good Onion video. Have you seen it, Steven? Where it's like the airport. It's a Kafka airport.
I think so.
It's very
Yeah, I've
funny.
seen that. Yeah.
But either way, I enjoyed the film. I enjoyed living in this little hell world for the 2 full hours. You know, like it really got to feeling like the kind of going nowhere feeling was pretty awesome. Just like him living in this hell world with the bureaucratic castle problems or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I like the movie.
Yeah, it's so funny you say him living in that world, you son of a bitch, because that's you. That's literally you.
Clearly, this guy's never been to the DMV.
Clearly, this guy has never opened his eyes in society, TM. and seen how society TM treats him.
Yeah.
Yep.
TM. No, I agree with the takes. It's not like a particularly moving movie or book. It's cool that it definitely felt like a book made movie. So like I feel like it was super true to the source material, and I think Hanukkah really wanted to accomplish that. And I think that's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen such an insanely book to film like port, you know? It feels like he just ported it to the film medium, but there was, Hanukkah wanted it to be a Kafka movie, not Hanukkah's movie interpretation of Kafka, you know? Like it seems like that's what he's trying to do, which is cool, laudable. Also, it was a TV movie originally, which may be worth mentioning. There's something interesting about that. I don't know. And overall, I liked it. Made me laugh multiple times. I think the humor came through visually better than I was imagining it, because there's scenes in the book that are clearly absurd, but don't come across as funny. At least they didn't to me. But like, I think they are meant to be funny, and I think Kafka meant them to be funny. And I think Hanukkah captured them visually and made them funny, which is cool. Like laugh out loud funny. All right.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good, dude. It was. I was thinking, it was like, oh, me and Hanukkah don't have beef with this one, because usually we always got beef. But I was thinking, because I haven't read the book, I was wondering, to what extent am I just enjoying Kafka, and to what extent am I enjoying Hanukkah? And I don't know, I guess knowing that it's like a direct port changes things a little bit, and explains why I didn't really have any, like, I wasn't like, what the fuck is this? Fucking Hanukkah?
So evil, dude.
And I was waiting for the part where like he was gonna like look at the film and say, "You're watching a movie, by the way," and then fucking say, "I'm so smart," and then okay, sorry, and I guess that's it.
Yeah, I'm with Steven. I am. I think it definitely is, like, a port is a good way to think about what I think Hanukkah saw his job as, and I think he did a really, really good job. Yeah, it sucks because I didn't find it to be like incredible, or I didn't have like a real connection with it, or all the things that are usually associated with a great story. Yeah, so I don't know. I think my general take is like I enjoyed it for sure, and then but most of that is like pretty much just having to do with how well it was executed and how well it captured the Kafkaesque, in atmosphere. But I'm not really like hyped on it in terms of like, any kind of personal excitement or connection and things like this. Oh, literally me! Yeah, maybe not so much.
I felt that way. I felt literally me moments, tons of times.
Kafka
Well,
got you guys. You guys have been Kafka'd.
You've been Kafka'd?
you got clogged.
Yeah, you guys have been
cough
lynched.
clogged. You've been cough
Lynched.
clogged.
You guys have been pinched.
Mm.
You guys just didn't get it, probably. Take every like that's me moment and flip that and just say, no, that's not me. The part I don't see as me is me, and then now you're talking about me. Now you're talking about me.
Like you as in Steven, or me as in
No, like
myself?
me as in the capital me TN.
Okay.
Literally called the castle. Never see any castle.
Wait,
Yeah.
that's
What the heck?
I
thought-
thought,
yeah,
that
that-
asshole this
that-
whole time.
That was one thing I was really impressed with, is the lack of
Schloss.
creating a world visually,
Yeah.
like the lack of like oh, he lived, like, I don't know, just the whole look of everything. I don't know, you never doubt that there's more going on beyond the frame, or that the castle like isn't there, like the castle's there and stuff, and yet you never, like, I don't know, you never look at anything of like the scenery really, besides like the buildings still look, I mean, they still look good, like on the inside of the buildings look great, but I was just impressed with
snow in between.
And the snow is so good. But I was just so impressed with like just how simple and small scale and obviously inexpensive the visual was, and how much you still felt like transported or placed inside the environment and the world.
Yeah, very good vibes of a world consisting of interiors that all belong to various people or forces, and like the place between interiors is just super inhospitable, cannot be survived for long, etc. And so, you can't just leave, you can't make it on your own. It's not like a man in nature. Rather the opposite.
Yeah. Man versus society.
Man versus society.
Which is literally me.
Which is literally I'm
Elon.
I'm man versus Hanukkah.
Okay. I'm man versus Hanukkah.
No.
I'm man versus food.
Steven, that's trademark.
Your man versus food. Yeah, that's pretty.
What?
That's good.
We're gonna have to cut that out.
Fuck. What's his name? Adam Drive?
No.
Yeah, it's Adam.
Yeah, Adam
Adam
Driver.
Yeah.
Is it?
No,
Adam
no,
Driver's
Adam-
man versus food.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Adam and Levine at
It
first.
is.
Isn't Adam Driver is
It's
that
Levine
Mythbusters?
Driver.
Is Adam Driver Mythbusters?
No. Well,
No,
wait,
Adam
who's-
Driver-
No, Adam Driver is Marriage Story, is the Star Wars.
Oh
is-
yeah, Adam Driver. Right, of course.
He's the horse.
Who's-
But you're right about
who's,
Adam. Man versus Food is Adam.
What's his name? Adam something. And then,
It's Levine Driver.
and then who's wait, who's the Mythbusters? Adam Savage. Adam Savage.
Savage. That should have been the Man versus Food.
So
Okay.
true.
His name is
Anyways,
Adam Rickman.
To bring it,
What?
let's reel it back.
Richmond?
Thank you, Rickman.
Richmond?
Let's reel it back
Richmond?
in.
I don't know.
Rich man.
Richmond,
Bring
probably.
it. Let's bring it back.
All right, the castle. What does it mean? The big
All
others.
right, what is
am
the
Am I gonna
castle?
walk out here and whip out my big boy giant round glasses and start fucking vomiting? No, I'm gonna tell you, this movie has no point. Okay, this movie has no point, and the whole point is there's no point.
What is this movie?
There, solved.
What does this movie have to say about women? Obviously, we were all thinking the same thing. Doesn't pass the Bechdel test. But, what does it say about women? Are they like essentially, the best?
The women want the phallus.
The women want the phallus. Is the castle the phallus? Because that's really what they all want.
Kind of. The castle's related, and so is Clam. Clam.
Cran.
With an L. No.
I believe it's an L. I think it's Clam.
It's Clam.
It is, right? KLAM.
Crayon?
Yeah. It's Clam.
It's him.
Clam.
And
And das Schuss.
then what's her name? The woman. What's her name?
Something.
What's her name? What's her name? Anyone?
I got it. Hold on.
No, I don't
All right,
remember.
that's okay. The woman who leaves Clam's service.
Clam.
Isn't it interesting that she so quickly gets with the inspector? Isn't that kind of interesting? Why does she do it? What does that mean? What does that symbolize, guys?
Well, wasn't it revealed why she did it or something?
Oh, why'd she do it?
It's like discussed. I don't know, dude. I thought that she did it in some sense because she thought it would help her get closer to the castle.
There
Just
you
right
go.
away. Everyone
I think
does.
so.
Pretty much everyone
Yeah.
does what they do according to that. But
Yeah, well,
also
yeah,
there was
yeah.
like some
Yeah,
sense
yeah,
of
'cause-
she wanted to run away. She wanted to get away from Clom, right?
Well, not
Like,
necessarily.
based on
She
their
just wanted to be
conversation
as
in the
close
school- in
as
the
possible to the
schoolyard.
Yeah, because
In the school.
because he says, well, I don't remember the exact reason why, but he revealed that he had some kind of association
Frida.
or something with the castle, and she was like,
Right.
"Oops, I guess I'm gonna marry you in 2 days or something."
Yeah, he got with her to get close to the castle.
Well,
Yeah.
no, and she uses him to get close to the castle too.
No, I thought she
It's
was trying to
both.
get away from the castle.
No,
She-
no, no, no.
No, dude, everyone wants to get close to the
Well,
castle.
how is
She wants to get because she's trying to trade up.
Yeah.
She doesn't like Clam much, but she's ecstatic to be at least relatively close to the castle.
But there's no one higher than Clom.
Yes, there is.
Who?
The Clam is just a representative of the cat. He's like some bureaucratic
Hmm.
middle management representative of the castle who has ties to it, but he's not the
No,
castle.
yeah, he's not the castle. I just mean there's no one
he's
that
like the
we
biggest-
know of that's bigger than Clom.
Yeah, we don't.
Other than the idea of getting into the castle. So she exchanges being with Clam, the known highest of the hierarchy in this situation, to try to get to the higher up by ditching him and getting with this potential that she sees in K. But it turns out that K is just a death of a salesman type character. And he's not going anywhere. He's not going up at all.
He's only
He's
going
just
down.
not going up. So she ends up losing everything, gets her job back with Clam, but now she's like
She's with the young
now
bull.
she's even lower than she was before.
At least she gets the young bull.
And so she still wants to retain a connection to the castle because she ends up being with that servant boy, or the assistant that's appointed from the castle. So the assistant who Kay gets appointed is from the castle,
Yeah.
even though he's so stupid. So she's willing to do. She wants to just be with anybody that is associated with the castle, aka the phallus.
The phallus. Young buck.
Yeah.
I liked
Ma-
sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say my favorite part of the whole film was all those papers.
Oh,
And
so
then-
good.
That part was so fucking awesome.
So ridiculous.
Yeah,
It
when they
felt-
start like picking up the cabinet, and
Yeah.
it's like on
Yeah.
the ground, and then they're like, but yeah, I was getting so anxious when they first like,
Just tossed everything.
yeah, she just starts throwing stuff on the ground, and then the guys come over and they start like just slipping on papers and stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
oh
If
my
you- if
gosh.
the whole thing. I don't know. There's so much all that whole sequence, and not only that, but when he was just like he's just fucking trying to figure out what to do, and he gets that letter saying, "By the way, you've been doing a great job. You and
Yeah.
Mr. Evans are doing a great job." He's like, "I had like what the fuck? I've been trying to contact you. I've been trying to reach you. I've been trying to like figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do, and now I just get this. Like I thought that really summed it up quite well, and I really really like those parts. This like huge like cog in the machine, like it's all so overarching and big, and then you end up just being like lost in this whole system of like being unorganized, and as you're trying to like filter your way through it, like nobody is actually anywhere close to this ethereal castle. It's like nobody's ever even fucking been there, and like nobody fucking cares about you because there's just more important things, I guess.
Right. You know what I found interesting? Were you gonna say something, John? Mine's not.
I was gonna say well, I was gonna say something. If what you were gonna say was more closely related to what Brody was gonna say, then go ahead.
I don't know if it is, but should I just go?
Go ahead.
Okay. What I found interesting. Oh, right. Towards the end, when he leaves the schoolhouse, in the evening, and he's tailed by that assistant, like the assistant follows him or whatever, and he goes to the house.
The shoemakers.
The shoemaker's house.
Banana house.
There's some. It's something like
Barnabas.
that, right? Barnabas, right? Barnabas is the boy who like is his messenger, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to work to get back in the good graces of the castle.
Yeah, he was his first assignment.
It's like, right? So it's the family who's fallen out of favor and is now trying to climb their way back up.
Yes.
But I found it. I didn't even. I understood that woman was sort of flirting with him, like when they're talking in the kitchen, when Kay is talking with this
The
woman,
masculine looking one, or the
somewhere-
one who allegedly likes him a bunch?
The one who's talking to him more seems at the very end of their conversation to allude more explicitly to some sort of romantic interaction, right?
Olga, I think was her name.
Well, no,
Maybe.
Olga is the sister who likes Kay.
My
Okay,
bad, my bad.
there's two sisters, and one of the sisters
Olga,
is informing him of many things.
not Olga.
And that one even expresses interest in him towards the end of that conversation. She has like this flirtatious vibe at the end of that conversation. But it's implied that he basically had an affair in that short period of time, because when he leaves later, like he comes back and sees I forget her, our funny games
Frida.
lady. What's her name?
Frida.
Thank you. He sees Frida and they have some conversation. She's like some falling out, and she's like, I've gotten with the assistant because, like, how dare you, like, you go stay with them and all their lecherous things, and you do commit these acts and things like this. And it just seemed so puzzling to me, because in my mind, I don't understand what he did wrong at all. Literally at all.
I don't think he. I mean, unless something really went over my head that like he actually did get with one of them. I thought part of the frustration is he shows up there, and she's like, "My sister's like into you" or whatever, and then he gets the hell out of there.
Yeah,
because he's like this is, and then that is what like I don't think he does get with her.
No, he doesn't. The betrayal that Frida is experiencing is because, as at other times, and part of this, like, the great machinery that Kay is like struggling to get through is the social, like, all these social understandings and social, like, climates that he doesn't understand.
Okay,
so
I'm with
the betrayal was that he's married to Frida, yet he's going to associate with Barnabas' family, who is basically blacklisted in this society for refusing that invitation that one time. And so Frida feels like he has, like, forsaken her so as to try and get himself one step closer. Like, he's betrayed her by associating her with Barnabas' family.
Yes, but it makes complete sense. The only thing that throws things off, and it's obviously intended, not to throw one off, but to draw obvious allusions and connections to, but of like sexual infidelity, or like infidelity in general. Like, and then her remarks, the way she explains how he's forsaken her. I think if we go back, there's like words that are meant to. While I think what you're saying is absolutely right, Troy. There's like words meant to evoke an image of an infidelity.
Yes.
Even though he has committed none.
For sure.
You know?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. Right. Yeah.
But I think that was a mistake.
But what?
I'm just kidding, sorry.
Oh, okay. Good one.
Thank you.
You know how he, like, the closest he gets to the highest up person or whatever is at the tannery house, the house, they're like they're tanners, and it's when he's first trying to get to the castle.
Innocent. Yeah.
And then he's like, I need a place to stay, and then there's the woman,
the mother.
Yeah, the mother, and he approaches her for a second.
She's the only person we see that's from the castle.
Yes, which I will say, I thought that the way that she was presented and stuff, like that was like that scene when he goes in the house was like, I found to be one of the more intense scenes, when he starts like approaching the woman and stuff, the way it's all laid out with like the furs and stuff hanging from the ceiling and then gets like grabbed and stuff, I thought was
it was insane.
Really good. But but then later her son, is it her son or her grandson or something? Son. But he reveals that she was exhausted for days from saying like 2 words to him.
Yeah.
What's up with that? Like, I found that like just confusing.
I think that's exactly right. But also
I don't think it's just confusing. So even literally to put a PP brain head on for me, like, and this is could clearly be wrong, but there's just some like immediate truth to that in terms of like, I don't know, like if you invite people over and your mom is the type of woman that like has to prep for it and like wants to be let known ahead of time, then like it doesn't really matter like how intensive the social interaction is or like invitation is or the requirement to be hospitable is, just by having it at one point, and then like it doesn't matter how simple or major it is, like they just don't want to do it again for a while, you know. I don't know, that just seems intuitively true for a lot of people who have to be hosts, you know. Especially to host to people that they don't know at all. Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean,
I'm not
yeah, that could be.
connected
It could. I mean, okay.
That was just
I know
othering.
exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, I know what you
but
mean.
I think.
Sorry.
But I think that an explanation in which it like ties back to the like class distinction between them probably might make more sense, just because it's like, I don't know, it's something like it's oh, I don't even know. I don't know exactly. If I start saying it now, I'm gonna just like keep saying it's not gonna go anywhere. So I have to think about it for a second.
I felt like it was just saying not only she's so, it's not just a status thing. It's like the way she's presented, the way we hear about it later, like she's almost biologically like in every sense she is so far above him that like interacting with him caused her like ailment. Like her level of superiority in some sense
Wait,
is
she,
so grand.
what's the superiority? Who is it
The
again?
mother
She's
who's
from the
she's from
castle.
the castle.
That's all we know.
Wait. Which mother are we
The
talking about?
mother
Describe
of the
it.
son who we later talk to, it's when he's in the he walks into the tannery and it's basically pitch black.
Right. And it's so brief how long he talks
Yes,
to the
he
mother,
speaks
right?
like a couple words to her, and we later learn that she's from the castle, and she's presented very uniquely, and we're told that after just a few words, that basically like she was bedridden for like 3 days or something, and
Did they offer to house him that night and he declined?
no, they physically removed him instantly.
And who was it?
The father
removed him?
and some other person.
Yeah, it's someone who recurs later on. It's a male character that recurs at some point, right?
Yeah,
Because
I
I think he comes
he's
back.
like, oh, I met you
at
at
one
the
point. Yeah, I met you at the thing. Right. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't. I was just so not grounded during that arc that I didn't really like care to understand it yet. In the sense that it just felt like he was being thrown out, and and then I believe does he soon after that go to the Herrenhof or something like that? He goes from the initial tavern to the tannery, I think, and then to Herrenhof. Is that right?
No idea. He goes a
There's
a lot of places.
There's a lot of walking back and forth
Yeah.
between
Yeah. So yeah,
all of these locations. I don't know what you mean by he goes to.
Like,
Like,
just
you
where'd he
like
go
stays
next?
at?
No, where'd he go next?
yeah, I just mean plot wise. How does it go sequentially? You know, he arrives at the first tavern, the whatever tavern, asks for a place to stay, has all this like phone conversation stuff, begins walking. Barnabas shows up and like tells him I gotta go do this, and he's like, oh, okay, and then he's like, Barnabas in the snow, oh, Barnabas, and then Barnabas is like, I'm going there, just a minute, follow me, and then they walk to this place. Was that the tannery, or was that Barnabas's house?
No, I'm pretty sure I thought he was trying to get to the castle on his own.
No. He follows Barnabas somewhere. Barnabas takes him somewhere early on. Now, if anybody cares to bother to look that up or doesn't care, that's fine. But it is so cool how much like a nightmare this is, and how if you were dreaming this, it would feel so abject and hellish and so plausible. Like it literally is. Like some of my worst nightmares and some of the worst dreams like that I wake from are like when I'm just like trying to, you know, get into my car, and for some reason the key's not working, and I just keep walking around the car for the infinite loop of the dream, and I keep thinking about how I got to get somewhere.
Yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
like there's a
Yeah.
place I got to get to. And I finally get in the car and I'm going somewhere. It's like, no, I got to get to the, it's clearly like, it's just, the term is obviously always like surreal. And so like Kafka was like all surreal and stuff. But it really is, this to me is dreamlike, nightmare-like. And I mean, a lot of Kafka's books are like that. But I find that pretty cool in how accurate it seems to be.
Okay.
I agree.
Very true. Very true. Very dreamlike. Very nightmarish. The whole like getting somewhere where you're trying to get somewhere you're supposed to be. But you are totally wrong about Barnabas and the timing or whatever of when it happens.
Me or Steven?
He's just trying to get to the castle, and he's
And then
just
what?
like walking.
Then what?
Afterwards, I didn't
Is it
figure
just
that
long
out.
shot where he walks in the snow for a long time?
Doesn't he walk
Yeah.
all the way back to the tavern? Does he
Um,
walk all the way back to the tavern, the first tavern?
I'm seeing it. Right
And then he gets to Barnabas? Then Barnabas takes him?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think,
all right.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
my
doesn't.
bad.
He gets thrown out.
My
And then he's just
bad.
instantly at the tavern. No, sorry. I was being.
No, but
it was meant to be funny by me.
no,
being
my
accusatory.
question my question had nothing to do with like the literal sequential thing, but more like
Oh,
I was confused as to when he ends up at the tannery. And I also associated Barnabas with the scene that we keep referencing for the tannery. Did Barnabas lead him there?
no, he hasn't met Barnabas yet.
How the fuck does he get to the tannery
He
How does he end up there?
He wakes up on his first day in the town. He goes out and he's just
in the tavern.
like
He wakes up in the tavern.
he wakes up in the
Not
tavern.
to be confused with
Okay.
the
Herrenhof,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, so he's wakes up in the first tavern that you ever see, the
Yeah.
first building, and
Yeah.
then he's like, "All right, I'm just gonna go to the castle because
Right.
it seems to be hard to communicate
Right.
with them over the phone."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, and then it snows, and then he's tired, and so he stops at a house, and that house is the tannery.
Oh, he just stops there.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, no wonder they threw him out.
Yeah, pretty rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty rude. Just like stopping at a house. What's up with
I'm-
the teacher?
What's up with her?
Him?
him.
The teacher?
Who's her?
Who's her?
Well, there is a
Wait,
woman
bro.
with the teacher,
Yeah.
but the teacher's also the dude. They're like a couple
Oh,
probably,
they're like a
and
couple
the
teacher?
dude is who's referred to as the teacher.
Oh.
But in the school when the kids all come in and stuff, there's a dude and a woman
Okay.
that come in. But the woman just leaves the kids into the room, and then that dude like wants to scold the guy, wants to like teach him a lesson. Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
it funny how that was so funny, the scene where he's just like hitting the assistant who's like a grown fucking man.
Yeah.
His
He's like,
ears.
Yeah, when he holds on.
yeah, he
to
holds
them,
on.
yeah.
Was it holds on his ear or something?
He holds on
something-
to their ears. I just
Yeah.
figured that was just teaching back then,
Yeah,
that
but
was,
it's just they're grown men. It's like stand up and get out of the room. What the
Yeah,
fuck is
I
going
just-
on?
Yeah, the whole dude. Yeah, at every point in the film, there was always some kind of confusion about like, but why are they even here in the
Yeah.
first place? Like, why don't they
Okay.
just do literally anything else? Which adds to like, I feel like there's this constant anxiety of like, well, why is this happening anyways? That like makes it feel much more nightmarish with them being like trapped in the situation they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was oftentimes confused. I thought that was just because I was like stupid or something, but I was oftentimes like, wait, so what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, you just kind
exactly?
of end up in places, even
And
though
then-
there is an explanation usually for why they're in, like, there's a reason why they're in this, there's a reason or whatever,
Yeah.
they're in the schoolhouse, but
I mean,
even
like,
then, it's
I mean,
like,
I was watching it, like, it didn't even matter. I mean, I've already said this, but, like, I feel like when they're going through this bureaucratic system, it's really so true. I don't know if you've ever, like, been on a phone loop where you're, like, calling somebody to get something done. You're like, hey, I'm trying to reach this person. And like, oh, I'm fucking whatever. And they, like, shuck you off, they forward your call to someone else, and they're like, oh fucking I don't know, like, and you keep forwarding the call until you end up in like a big circle, and people just keep getting angrier with you as you keep going in the fucking damn circle, and you don't know what the hell you're supposed to do or who you're supposed to call. Like, I don't know if this ever happened to you guys, but that's what this movie felt like to me.
I mean, I've definitely been like sent back and forth between two different places to like get different forms for things before.
No.
And it's like, I don't know, kind of the same thing.
Here's a review by Mr. Contrarian. Boring. Kafka may have written a 5-star novel, but this director certainly hasn't found a way to make it visually engaging. The assistants and women endlessly hit the same silly note. Other actors are either too bland or too abrupt. And we never actually see why the townspeople and authority figures behave in such odd, inconsistent ways.
No. This is a fake review.
Here's another one. Prepared
That's so
to die
psycho,
of boredom.
dude. This guy's so
Poorly
stupid.
made film. Here's a new one. Bad.
Oh,
Nonsense. No story, just wandered through the film and did not seem to be very cohesive in its story. Bad.
Oh my god, stop.
What do you want? What do you want?
Amazon. I love reading Amazon.
These are insane.
Amazon.
These are black.
I could not finish
Yeah,
watching this movie. Not sure what time period this was taking place in, and the acting seemed very amateur. Maybe the story was lost in translation since it was subtitled, but I could not follow it. The main character just seemed to walk in the snow and go house to house trying to get to, quote, the castle, but could never get there or get any answers from the town's inhabitants.
That's
needless to say,
that's what makes it so
did
awesome.
not hold my interest.
So true.
That's
That
so
you know what?
funny.
It's so true.
That's
That guy's
so
so
funny.
right. You know.
I'll tell you what, that guy at least he got the movie.
Yeah, at least
That
he
guy-
did.
that-
Yeah,
that guy-
the guy
that
knew
guy-
what happened.
That guy should go sit on a Richard Dawkins lecture. That guy sounds really worldly and material, and he's awesome, dude. He's smart. He's cool.
Dude, I love when
Listen,
Marvel
the
plots
people-
have more compelling plots than this movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say
And
that.
Marvel's not even that good.
I was gonna say that. I thought one of my favorite scenes was the when he goes back when he's lost Frida. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, wait. First of all, how intense is the scene? Like, how scream at your TV
Yeah.
moment is it when he's talking to the guy and falling asleep?
That's
Yeah.
obviously
And-
the best
and-
scene.
No, that
So
scene.
awesome.
It's so
Wait,
good.
why were you
It's-
screaming at your TV? Like, why?
Brody wasn't because
it's like-
Brody obviously was falling asleep himself.
Because it's like fucking
Well,
he's telling you that you just have to say the word and I'll grant you anything
Yeah,
you want.
this is the
anything
closest
you want,
he
and I'll
actually
get
gets
you.
to any
Yeah,
power.
Yeah. And he's falling
The
asleep.
castle opens up to him and
It's
says,
so
"I will
crazy.
do anything for
It's-
you."
It's so crazy because the like I felt so in his position, like falling asleep, you know, because I mean I actually was pretty
Yeah.
sleepy when watching it too.
Yeah, and you're
So-
just tired of that shit. You're
And
just
I'm
tired
just
of
like
this
I was
shit
just
going on.
like,
Yeah.
dude, this guy is so annoying. Why doesn't he just leave? Like, go talk to the guy you're supposed to talk to. Go like do something, and then he's falling asleep, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so long. And then all of a sudden I actually hear what he's saying, and I'm like,
Yeah.
like I just started like freaking
Yeah.
out. I was like, okay, dude, you gotta wake up, and then he just doesn't wake up, and then it's just
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
bad.
he meets the first
Yeah.
competent person in the whole movie. The only
Yeah.
person who
I
seems to have
always-
any idea how to communicate and like is capable
And is
of helping.
relatively generous.
Yeah, relatively generous,
You know,
good spirited,
generous.
and seems to understand the problems being faced by Kay. You know, perfectly
That
describes
is true.
the whole Kafkaesque environment, all this stuff,
Okay, wait, Brody.
and just says, "I'll do anything for you."
Yes.
So wait, Brody, did you not understand that he was offering him help?
No, so I got that he's offering him help, but I interpreted it as like another dead end. Like, and like this guy, like maybe he, like, cause he clearly he got it right, and then he was talking about like, but you know you gotta be like honest and like forthward, and this is how you do it. And then I thought to myself like, this isn't like, I feel like while he got it, he didn't like fully get it in the sense that he doesn't understand like how fruitless and how dead end this whole system is.
So you thought
You know?
thought that he's just like he's like Boomer or something, being like, you just got to put in the hours or something like that.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay. No, yeah.
Exactly.
Well, no, there's a point at which he is literally telling him, just ask me and I personally will give you what you want, is like what he's saying.
He gives such a good speech because not only does he talk about that, but he seems to be obviously the only person who gets it, and he seems to get it in a way that not even Kay gets it, where he talks about the organization, right, as such, and why it must be this way. And it's basically to preserve the organization and the organization's desires and abilities, and like, you know, above all, the continued existence of the organization, and how it's essential. It's an essential characteristic of the organization that it be incomprehensible, impenetrable, you know, and you know, unclear to both those who occupy it and those who seek to get within it. And then he says, but you know, every once in a while, and then he describes the exact situation that Kay is in right now, speaking to him. And yeah, he's like, I will, you know, he's basically saying, yeah, he's like, I'll disrupt the whole organization. I will defy, you know, these laws and characteristics because I could not bear to deny you your request right now, or something like this.
And
he says the word opportunities, and one must be like ready to take the opportunities. They come about once and whenever, you know.
Well, it's true.
Yeah,
that's so
But that's true
based.
because Kay's received nothing but
know.
opportunities that he just continue, right? Like the whole first half of the movie is him getting, at the time, they don't seem like opportunities, but later in the movie seem like extremely luxury opportunities that he just kept turning down and ruining in order to get closer to the castle.
He's in pursuit of
only to later realize, you know, I'm homeless.
Yeah, I felt like that moment was one of the few moments where I really felt like I was more closely relating to Kay and not just watching Kay. You know, because I can be like, oh, so true, that's so literally me or whatever, but it would be through like after one level of abstraction, you know, versus this, it was like I was actually fatigued watching the film, you know. I was like, this is so cyclical and the same thing over and over again, and now this is going on for so, and then yeah, it felt like that was one of the few moments where like it really like kind of punched through and got me, which and I was going to say, I thought something was wrong with me, or that I was like just tired when they were in the schoolhouse and you have that really emotional, insane scene between Frida and Kay. And I was like not that like being emotionally pulled or pushed or whatever, because like the acting is obviously so good and stuff. But I just found it mostly like the rest of the film just really weirdly distant and like alienating. And I thought something was wrong with me, and I felt like this moment kind of showed, I don't know, I felt like, because before I was like, I thought something was wrong with me, and then this moment with the guy and feeling fatigued and stuff, that this scene showed that it was like probably more intentionally so or something. Yeah, I don't know. It had something more to do with the structure of the film than not.
I want to say kudos to Hanukkah, because the sleeping moment was like so well done. I think it's so natural to like be falling, kind of tired. Like, oh my God, so much is going on. And like, there's something pretty cool that you're watching the whole movie in one sitting. So you're able to really try to lull that viewer into that state such that they empathize with him, versus reading. It's like if you put the novel down and then pick it up in the middle of a sunny day while you're in a library, and you begin at that point because that's where you stopped last time you read, you wouldn't have that same guaranteed empathy of like sleepiness, there's something about the fact that you have to endure this with Kay for the 2 hours that's pretty cool and is like unique to a movie setting. Okay, on
a craft note, I mean, he perfectly primes you for this by exhausting you. Most of the film keeps a very steady pace, separated by like black chapter gaps, which I love, and we've seen before. But he seems to me super clearly exhausts you in the previous scene by having, one of the longest takes I've ever seen in a movie. I mean,
Yeah,
the hallway scene, from him noticing Frida to returning to the room and not being able to choose the right door is all one take. Everything with him and Frida in that hallway
Is one cut.
One cut. Yeah, sorry. Is all one cut. And I mean,
No. I'm saying
no, one take. It is one take.
It is one take, but it is not one unbroken take. There is a reverse shot showing the empty hallway.
At what point?
After he's talked to Frida.
Okay, I just mean the Frida thing then. That Frida thing is like...
sorry.
The Frida thing annoying, is like 8 minutes long. Yeah. And it's all one thing, and it's exhausting.
So impressive.
And like you've lost all the steady tempo from previously, and I think this is like intentionally to like really tire the viewer out.
And it's also, I mean, at least for me, I was already so like, I mean, I didn't want him to be with Frida, really. I wanted him to just do literally anything else, just like I mean, the whole time you're like, just get out,
Yeah.
And so when he's just like back at it with, because like there was a sense of like, obviously I'm like, oh man, like I feel bad, like he seems to actually like kind of like Frida and stuff. But I felt a sense of relief when it was told to him that it's over, and I thought there was going to be a final argument, and that was going to be it. But then the final argument consists of not just exploding at each other in some kind of reconciliation. It's like we're back together again, and then I'm going to ignore you, and then slowly, and then we're back together again, and then we're not, and then we're going to have this other conflict. And it's just like, it's so much more up and down and over here and over there that it's like, the scene really is not just structured in length to be exhausting, but it's like content is just so like you're just so sick of it.
Yeah, so like that's kudos to Kafka, and then but I do want to say, an interesting thought I just had about Frida, like to contrast Kay versus Frida. Obviously, Kay is in pursuit of the castle. He's like chasing towards it, constantly in pursuit of. Frida's not, in terms of her motivation, yeah, sure, she wants to be around the phallus and like climb, I guess, but really it's not like she's climbing towards the castle. It feels like she's running further away from hell. Like she's always in this pathologically like, like just fucking, just tell me, like, let's get away. I'm fucking, the life is, you don't get it. Life's gotta be insane. Oh God, you can't do this. We're fucked. Like anytime she's on screen, and that's why they say over the top, but it's like, that's clearly the point of her character, is to just be like insane about this shit. But I mean, it's with relatively good reason, because Kay just keeps ending up in a more and more fucked position, But yeah, and then her so the idea for her to run away from Clam and be with Kay, I think shouldn't be framed in the sense that she's chasing the castle per se, but trying to get even further away from hell. So she wants to climb not for pursuit of a thing, but for fear of the thing that lies under it, which I think is like an interesting distinction between both of their motives for climbing, because I think they do have interest in climbing, but it's just different. And also, one other interesting thing, what made me lose, what makes one lose respect for Kay immediately is like, dude, when he treats the assistants like kind of poorly at first, it's like, yeah, they're kind of dunces, but it's like, you're going to call them the same name? Like, you're literally just part of this system you hate. Like, you're kind of a scumbag for that one, dude. Like, and he like keeps pushing him out into the cold, and it's like, yeah, I guess they're kind of annoying, but you're not exactly a good manager either. This is, I don't know. He doesn't seem like he's competent. It's not like he's a competent man who's being pushed down by the system. No, he's relatively incompetent too,
Yeah.
Which is good. I think that's much more fair and correct about things.
I think his incompetence comes from, or seems to come from, like a lot of the motivation behind like this treating of the assistants as like saying, I'm going to refer to you as one person and all this stuff, is that he is just like wholesale rejecting any aspect of the bureaucratic system. He's like, well, these aren't my assistants. Like, you're like, I just don't even want to deal with it. Like, this is just not, like, instead of like trying to, like, he's just totally rejecting like the new frame that he's living in. Which then makes it like, because it makes it so he's totally incompetent within the frame he's living in.
Yeah, I think that's actually really interesting, because I can understand why you say he's rejecting it, and I agree. But what's funny is that subtends the system itself. Like, he becomes just as ridiculous and managerial by trying to resist it. It's like there's no getting out of it, you know? Because he seems to just he like places himself in the role of the bureaucratic thing that's like saying no to these assistants without a warranted reason, you know, and they're just here by happenstance anyways, you know. It's like they didn't choose to be his assistant, but yet they're being shoved into the cold. So it's like, you know, and his whole climb towards the castle, like the rejection of the bureaucracy, yes, but he also just wants to climb it, you know. He just wants to be at the top. So I don't think it's like he has these like revolutionary ideas of I'm gonna shove away the bureaucracy and then like change it or something like that. But no, it's like he's like, I'm gonna try and operate in it and also not follow its rules, which is the worst case scenario, you know.
Yeah, it's like it's not like he's like it's not some like revolutionary thought like this is all bullshit, like in some kind of unselfish way, but just like this is all bullshit for me and like shouldn't be a problem for me or something like that.
Yeah, there's something egotistical about it. Something like he feels exceptional, and how he waves around his I'm the land surveyor and stuff. And it's like, yes, you're the land surveyor, so I'm on your side in terms of you deserve, you know, I guess a place to stay or whatever, you know. It's not your fault you got sent here. But also he waves it around like it's his own little phallus, you know. He's waving around his little PP,
which is
showing it to people.
I mean, it's so appropriate because it's not a real job.
Yeah,
like he's not even he's not even supposed to.
He's not even supposed to be there.
He's not even supposed to be there.
Yeah, I wanted to point out that like, he starts out. I mean, he literally says to Frida, like, with respect to the castle and the system, he's like, "I'm gonna fight it," right? And then in the end, it's sort of strongly suggested that, like, right, he pretty much everyone in that town is just like him, right? Like, it's not like in the beginning you think that it's a normal guy in a place of weirdos who all know something he doesn't, when actuality, like, right, he is, you know, just another loser who wants to be in the castle. He's going to get used by someone like him, you know, oh, come with me, I got a job for you, right? Trying to use him to get, you know. Yeah. And then I like the land surveyor thing because, like, it is essentially what his, like, mission, like, right, he shows up and spends most of the time trying to figure out what the hell's going on in this place, right? Like, he's he's just surveying the castle.
Right.
But right, it's not a real job. He hasn't done any surveying, and ultimately he he thinks that he is gaining a better understanding by the end, right? Like, when the guy he's like, oh, I've got a job for you, and he's like, oh, well, you just want me because you think I can help you with whatever the guy's name is, you know? Which is pretty funny because like he doesn't even say anything to him. Or Kay doesn't say anything to the guy. The guy just says like a bunch of crap to Kay. Anyway, you get some feeling like Kay thinks that he is getting a grip on things, right? But all he actually is like just becoming used to not understanding what is going on.
Yeah, and I think in that same point about him being a land surveyor is so cool. When I noticed when they say we haven't needed a land surveyor for forever. The system has been laid out. The land's been perfectly drawn up and boxed and squared, and everyone knows where everyone is. And you're coming over here. You know, it's such a perfect like not for the like KNOT, like not for the analogy to take place at, because it's like it really is like he's just, you know, you're just a man born into modernity. You know, like you're just you can't hope to have a role in shaping things because they're just given to you. Like you just did, you know, the social system's already there. You know, you can't. I don't know. There's no like plowing through it or anything like that. And your occupation doesn't really matter. You're just gonna, I don't know. The fact that his occupation literally doesn't matter, and the reason it doesn't matter is not because they don't want one, but because the land has already been drawn up for forever. Like they've
Yeah.
already decided where all the land is and who owns what and where it belongs to. I thought that was a really interesting thing. You know?
Too young to or born too late to
Yeah.
explore the continent, born too early to explore the stars, born just in time to browse
Watch,
and have a
eat
podcast.
McDonald's.
Yeah,
and-
just
To
in
have a
time to eat
podcast.
McDonald's at a decent price. You know, inflation's gonna get crazy.
Yeah.
That's what our kids love to deal with.
I was going to say something about Frida earlier, Stephen, when you were talking about her motivation.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about the her desperateness. Well, first of all, she seems to be much more in touch with what's at stake than
Yeah.
him, which like at first you're like, okay, this
Right.
chick needs to calm down, like stop doing
By
that.
the way,
and
her
then
name means
like
freedom, or her name means peaceful.
does it actually?
Yeah.
That is funny. But yeah, but then you slowly come to realize like, okay, like he should have been listening to her like all along. Or at least like taking her more seriously, you know. But then
yeah.
But so that's one thing. But the other thing that I was gonna say is that her clinging to him and being so horrified that he's going to hate her or leave her or anything like that, I think is interesting, because not just because it is like consistent with her probably like feeling the need to just cling on to anything that she has left, you know, so that she doesn't just fall into the tundra, you know, but also because her previous connection, you know, her previous like anchor is Clam, who she's only his mistress, and she like works this like awful job, you know, which is supposedly like a pretty good job in the thing.
Yeah,
but
she seems kind of happy.
I mean, she seems kind of happy, but I think that it seems to me that like her the way in which she treats Kay is probably, it seems like consistent with like how her relationship probably was with like Clam or whatever, as being like not like a real significant other or something, and only being there to like satisfy some sexual need or something like that of Clam's. And then like, and now she's treating Kay in the same way in some regard.
I think it's strongly implied that she has never actually met Clam.
Really?
Yeah, the younger girl talks about how Frida just lied about being Clam's mistress because she's older and doesn't have a husband, and thought that by saying that she could get Kay to lust after her, which Frida more or less admits to have knowing ahead of time. Like, she talks about how like she saw right through Kay and knew that he would get with her because of that. But the younger girl's basically says that she's lying, and also sort of implies that no one has ever met Clam.
Okay, forget everything I just said though, because I probably forget that. I mean, unless the girl is lying, but like, I don't know. I think it's probably more interesting if no one's ever met Clam. And like,
there is something really weird though about the new replacement tavern woman, that she comes from a relatively noble family or something. I don't know if it's from the castle. Is she from the castle? I forget. Right, so she's not from the castle, but this job is seen as an inconvenience on her, you know? She sees it that way.
No.
Kind of. Yeah.
No,
she does a little bit.
She's stoked that she's so... Yeah, she's so excited
she wants,
that she's not
I thought
a chamber
she talks
pot.
about running away and wants to bring him with her with all of her girls somewhere.
Oh,
No,
it's because
Towards the end?
she got the position, which she said that Kay arriving was the best thing that ever happened to her in her whole life, because it got Frida out of the bar room, and then she got put in the bar room. But then, now that Frida's coming back, she has to go back into the to be or whatever they're called. I forget.
She's a chambermaid.
Chambermaid, and then she's like, "Yeah, you should come with us. We'll treat you right." I don't know what that was all about, but
I think that was about. She's
sexual.
doing what Frida initially did, or whatever, or what she's claiming Frida initially did by like tricking him into, because he's still probably a step up in the ladder than being the barmaid.
I don't know.
Or maybe he is. I don't know.
He should have taken the deal. It sounds like she was offering like gigasuck from like a bunch of girls.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me.
Well, no. But then he gets he like maybe was going to, and then he gets
ripped away,
and then he gets
Yep.
and then he gets pulled away. Yeah. But and that's the end of the movie. But
to a dream of the castle again. A guy who's like purporting to like to say there's something to do that can help him work towards the abstract goal.
I love that scene with the younger girl. Like I thought that was so awesome. Like I felt like the whole like her trying to seduce him and then he just totally I don't know, he just
but he's
rips her apart. But he's actually cringe, and then he gets offered, and then it's like after he already is like ruining just another opportunity, like he's just ruining it again. Then she still offers it to him.
Yeah,
like she even sweetens the deal, and then he still leaves, and it's like
he's like about to take it, and then someone just rips
he's
him
like
away.
about to take it, and and then it is so aggravating. But yeah.
I can't
Who wanted
believe
to
people
climb in that
like
carriage?
movies like this, man.
Dude, try to tell me you didn't want to climb in that carriage.
I did
with him.
Dude, tell me you didn't get super nervous when he spilled the cognac.
Oh yeah,
I was pretty nervous. I thought that was
gonna go.
I can't believe how stupid Kay
same.
was when I thought it was like a fun moment where he's sitting there, and and the carriage driver says, I can't remember the exact language, which is kind of the whole point of what I want to talk about, but he says something like, it could be a long while, right? And then Kay says, huh? Till what? And he says, till you leave, right? And then the narrator says, Kay didn't understand what he meant. But how did he not understand what he meant? What an idiot, Like,
wait, I'm confused. I don't understand what he meant. What
I get it. Kay is sitting there waiting outside the door for Klom, right? And the carriage.
Because the driver thinks he's Klom?
No. No. He's sitting out the door waiting for Klom to come out. The carriage driver knows that Kay is waiting for Klom. Carriage driver says, it could be a long time. In parentheses, till Klom arrives. Kay says, huh? Till what? And the carriage driver says, till you leave. Implying that so long as you sit there, Klom will not come out.
Right.
And
I see.
And it just was amazing that I don't get why the carriage driver. I feel when watching it that the carriage driver offered him some cognac, knowing that something bad would happen or something. It just seems like I like the, this part of the vibe. I like the vibe of like in general everybody knows everything except for the protagonist.
Well, kind of, except. So it is weird though, because the protagonist Kay just doesn't even fulfill the fucking driver's wish. Driver says have a sip and then pass it to me. Instead it says, then the narrator kicks in and says like, Kay couldn't resist just sitting in the fucking cab, It's like instead of forging a positive connection with anyone, like it'd be cool if like he's talking to this driver and the driver fills him in on some details.
The driver's been to the castle,
but no,
allegedly, right?
No, and like, he could talk to the driver and be like, is there any way you could take me at some point? He doesn't pursue anything actively, and says it just wants to be in the warmth, like a cozy little. Like
baby
get out of the cold.
Versus the world.
Idiot.
Spills the wine because he gets nervous.
He oversleeps all the time.
By the way, cognac.
Yeah, why is it? Yeah, he's always sleeping, dude.
Because he's an MF grinder, yo. It's like that boomer meme. It's like dads when they brag about waking up at 4 a.m. every day, and then like it just shows a guy sleeping at like noon on the couch, because he like sat down for like.
That's so true.
And it's like they fall asleep instantly because they have to wake up.
Your dad's like that. Oh, my dad. Like
absolutely
on the weekend
100%.
If he we'd always do chores and projects, but then if he sat on the couch for more than 10 minutes he'd fall asleep.
Yeah, same.
I can't believe people like these kinds of movies. I can't believe it.
What do you mean?
I'll tell you.
This movie had no
I'll
plot.
tell you.
Let me just say this one thing.
Let me just say this. Look, guy, please.
Let me just
Can
tell
I
you.
please just
let
tell
me,
you this
let
one
me
thing?
just tell you. Can you just let me say this one
Look,
thing?
I'm trying to hear him say this
thing,
one.
John,
I'm trying to listen
stop.
to this. I'm trying to listen for once. I'm
Well,
trying to
let me
listen
open
for
your
once.
ears, John.
Can I just
Too.
listen to you say this one thing?
You can watch me say
I'm
it
trying to
too.
listen
Wait,
for once.
after he says this, I'm gonna say something.
Okay, but I'm saying something before Brody.
Okay, the thing.
But wait, hold on.
I
I'm
want
I
to-
Troy,
am
why don't you
gonna
just
say
Troy,
I have
why don't
something
you
to say.
just spit it out?
Wait, I
Wait, can I
can't.
actually say
Everyone's
something first?
And
too
it's
busy.
related to the movie.
Everyone's
Troy,
too
wait,
busy
wait, I
saying
have
one
something-
thing. I'm trying to say one thing.
Will you
I'm
spit
trying to
it
say
out,
one
Troy?
thing.
Okay, this movie, which really doesn't. It's so weird
Troy,
whether or
you're
not
muted.
I'm talking about the movie or I'm talking about the book, but does not succeed in some type of classic marriage between like allegory / parable and narrative. Because generally speaking, except for various acute moments, like you mentioned earlier, I basically don't feel connected to the character, and I feel much more like I'm watching him, much more than I am, engaged in a story or with the character and things like this. And this is, I think, in contrast to other, greatest movies of all time, House of Jack Bill and stuff like this. But even the trial, which we obviously can't talk about, but I think the trial, for you rubes at home, another Kafka book, the better Kafka book, the best Kafka book. Actually, Metamorphosis is probably the best. But anyway, the trial, I think, probably does a better job, and this has piqued my interest in seeing Orson Welles' adaptation of the trial.
Yes,
Have you
yes
have
to
you read
that.
the trial? Have you read
Yes.
the trial?
No.
Have you read the trial,
I have not read the trial, but for some reason I feel like you're lying.
Steven?
No, Troy has read the trial.
Okay.
Troy's
Sorry, wait,
absolutely
I was
read
Go
the
get
trial.
you,
dude.
Steven. Go
What?
gadget credibility.
I wish
Yeah.
I wish that as I mentioned earlier, I felt like something was like maybe wrong with me when that schoolhouse scene was not hitting when between him and Frida,
There was, but it had
when
nothing to
they-
do with the movie.
I know, but
So
but there.
well, I had most-
wait,
When you were watching
it-
there was something wrong with you.
that was mostly like an acne thing.
okay. Now
just
that
coincidentally.
now that we've got that out of the way, now that I understand what was wrong with me. But
Boils.
yeah, I thought I wished so bad that was like just slapping the way that like the way that like the suffering and like funny games hits, like when he gets like hit with the golf club,
It was or wasn't?
like I wish that it was
Yeah.
hitting like that, like because like
Well, you identify with them.
What?
You identify with the Funny Games characters.
Yeah. And so I wish that because if that scene, if scenes like that, like if they were really hitting, then I don't know. Yeah, I would have liked the movie way more.
Both good.
Both good.
What?
Look, this movie. Both look,
good.
you say
What?
you say.
Wait, no, I
know- wait,
what are you saying?
I know.
Both?
I'm kidding. This movie. This movie. There's a reason to like. I don't think we should. Troy, the same comment that Troy was making, the same comment that John's making is like there's this marriage of narrative and story, and like identification with the character or the situation isn't as strong as it could be emotionally. Like you don't have as much like of an emotional attachment, and it feels very much like we're watching Kay. I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Like let's give it the benefit of the doubt. And this movie accomplishes boredom and confusion. Not just confusion. It's not like nightmare fuel confusion. It's like gross boredom that at first is funny but gets so dull. And like I don't know, like I don't think, and like even to the point where like, so you're saying like the emotional scene didn't hit you. It's like I'm glad it didn't hit you. Like if it hit you, that scene should not. That scene like it'd be too interesting. Like it'd be too like immersive and awesome. Like the point is for it to just drag
Just be-
on.
Okay,
but
It's just another conflict, and it's a high stakes conflict, and they're talking, and it's loud and emotional. But oh my god, it's just another issue. It's just another issue, and I think that's part of the point.
Yeah, of course. Not to be mean, of course, but of course, right? Like, I'm on board with this, and I think that this film is an incredible, testament to Haneke's craft, and just, an unbelievable port.
Well, I think the book is good for that reason too.
I get it's a whole different type of movie, right? It's like someone who has, beer and soda, and is like, oh, this beer is bitter, soda sweet, I like soda, right? It's like, no, right? Like, beer exists within that bitter frame, right? And then, right, you evaluate it within that frame. It doesn't make sense to compare to soda. They're different things.
Yeah.
I think that's fair, but I think it's also fair to be like, at the same time, I don't enjoy this nearly as much as more narrative-based films. And I don't think
Totally a fair
nearly
point.
as much as soda.
No,
Totally
stop.
a fair point.
Actually, I don't drink beer, so I don't know.
So that claim is
I don't know. alcohol
totally
tastes like.
reasonable, but like it's just I think to say like I wish about this movie is like kind of weird. Like to wish for like that emotional scene to hit.
I don't
for
think John
instance.
was
No, I
wishing
know
it.
this is a response more.
I
than
thought
John.
he was saying. He was saying he thought something was wrong.
No. I literally said I wish that it hit.
Oh, that's so
he's
cringe!
talking
I
about
can't believe you said that.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean, I don't know. No, I
No, look, okay. I was gonna walk it back, but now I don't want to because Troy was mean about it.
Well, I mean, Troy's saying some goo gob about I want a story with traditional narrative.
No, I'm not saying
I want it to make sense. I like Marvel
my
movies.
gosh.
I watch Adam Sandler comedies all the time, and they always make me laugh. So this movie must be shit.
Yeah,
That's like what Troy says the whole time.
That's what Troy. That's exactly what Troy said. Troy said that soda tastes better than beer, therefore soda is better.
Yeah.
Okay, listen. Look, guys.
Wait, how many things are you gonna say?
I'm gonna say these two things, but we're gonna start with one.
No, start with the second.
No,
and then
okay,
work
so we're gonna
backwards to the
start.
first.
So let me just say. Let me just say this two thing. Let me just say this
Holy
two
shit.
thing, and then I'll say the one thing.
Two thing.
Okay, say the
Two
two
thing.
thing.
One thing.
Okay,
I only have one thing to say.
that's the second thing.
now one thing.
That's the second thing. What's the first thing?
Yeah, the first thing is, look, guys. Okay, yeah, it's true. It's cringe. I'll walk it back. The movie was made well and intentionally, so the way it was,
Wait, Madewell
with being, yeah.
Yeah, because at first Frida's performance is like so, like it's actually like really intense and like believable, and you're like, oh shit, like
Yeah,
fucking this bitch is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
What the
Yeah,
fuck? But then as that to just be her character the whole movie, it means that all the emotional scenes just begin to feel like they're just dragging between her and him.
Well, now I'm interested in what would you guys say is in the same category of, like, I guess, I mean, I feel like this watching of the character is kind of inherent to like more allegorical films. Like what would you put in the same category as this?
Synecdoche, New York.
Dude, hold on a second. What the hell does allegorical mean?
Holy smoke in Toledo. It's a story in which every element is symbolic of some real life thing.
Okay, thank you.
I think the thing that comes to mind immediately is just Synecdoche, New York, where like the confusion that is imposed on the audience is meant to mirror the confusion felt by the protagonist.
Literally what I was thinking.
Except honestly, but that movie has like a way more identifiable, like the protagonist is much more sympathetic and like identifiable with than this movie.
Yeah,
but that is another movie where
more,
it is attempting to confuse
alienating.
you and alienate you from its environment, just as it does to the primary character.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so to compare, for instance, like The Trial and The Castle, I think like The Trial is way more like anxiety core nightmare fuel than is The Castle. Yeah, I think so. I think the whole enjoyment one gets reading The Trial is way more like intense and visceral than The Castle. The Castle is just like this super distant feeling.
Couldn't it
You
just
don't
be
identify
better?
much with him at all. No, I don't think so. I think it accomplishes something like totally different. Like it doesn't even
Wait,
seek to accomplish the same thing.
Why didn't Kafka finish The Castle? Do we know that?
He didn't finish your trial either.
He didn't
Oh,
finish
He
anything.
finished
So
Metamorphosis, didn't he?
also,
okay.
I thought he
Never
didn't
mind.
finish that.
Never mind.
I think he did finish the
Dude,
Metamorphosis.
they should
but
have.
I
They
think
should have burned it like he
and
asked.
he finished lots of stories and stuff, like short stories and stuff. But I don't know. The Castle one, I don't know the answer to that, but wouldn't it be so awesome if he never intended to finish it and that the whole point was for it to go down as the unfinished novel just to tie it? Because it works so
yeah, it does.
symbolically
Yeah.
perfect.
It does
Dude,
work.
it's the
very
perfect-
well.
I
Yeah.
didn't even think about that.
It's
Yeah.
the perfect ending to a fucking
Yeah.
roundabout nightmare shit.
That's why he didn't
yeah,
finish
I
it. 'Cause if
really-
he kept writing. He would have just kept writing the same. It would have just kept on
the
going.
same
He
thing
would-
forever.
he would have never-
Yeah. So this is like the ellipses,
Look,
you know?
yeah,
This is just
dot,
an
dot, dot.
ellipses, basically.
Guys,
Yeah.
Kafka's Metamorphosis is called a major work of literature.
Did it?
Why? It's
Are you reading
What?
something? What are you talking? What?
Because it's short.
if
Because it's what, 40 pages?
if
50 pages?
like-
Major work of freshman
if
English literature.
if like Animal Farm, it's an allegory. An allegory of what? Scholarly answers range from pretentious Freudian to far-fetched feminist. I don't get it.
This is
Where are the emperor's clothes?
you just read.
That's the Richard Dawkins tweet.
Oh,
Richard
that's
Dawkins.
pretty
That
funny.
is awesome.
Where the Emperor's
and
clothes.
so
That
insanely
is brain
brain dead.
dead.
Dawkins. Like, it's so funny because I wish it was just a based joke from him, you know?
Oh,
Wouldn't
but
that be so
he's
silly?
incapable.
But
Like-
instead, it's literally one of the most stupid tweets you could make. Like, why is he even
Where
saying
the
this,
Emperor-
dude?
Yeah.
Because there's like there's articles which are like Freudian, and then there's articles that are feminist interpretations. Therefore, the book makes no sense and doesn't have like a place on the literary canon.
mean,
Has he ever
listen-
read like an explanation for its power? Like you could just go read someone answer that question for you. There's millions of papers written
I
why it's
mean,
important
to me-
without
to
giving
me-
it like a skew. You know,
The worst part about it to me is like the pretentiousness. Like you can just say like, well, okay, so this is like clearly very impactful, and like say like I don't get it, and then like leave it at that and not make that cringe tweet. But instead, it's like he doesn't get it. He found some unsatisfactory answers, therefore it's actually bad. You know, it's like that's not a
Rich
good way
coming
to
from the
approach
Hanukkah hater.
things.
Roasted.
Ooh.
Annihilated. Eviscerated.
Hanukkah's actually cringe though. I actually understand Hanukkah. I actually understand Hanukkah. That's the difference between me and Don.
Hanukkah has made piano teacher Brody
Stop
dissing
forgetting.
Hanukkah.
Okay, my
He's made what is-
Do you feel that piano teacher was
You
a
know-
fluke?
No, I actually just hate funny games. To be honest, I was thinking about Hanukkah films today, about which
Okay.
ones I dislike.
Now we're getting somewhere. Let's go.
I
Let's
really
fucking
just
go.
dislike funny games.
Okay, base.
to be honest.
That's actually.
Who doesn't?
I don't even think that it's that bad to dislike funny games.
Yeah, that's base. Base
Okay,
take.
thank you. Yeah.
Brody
Brody's back.
announces
Brody's
Brody.
back.
That's a dub.
Brody
That's
no
a
longer-
dub. Brody takes
Yeah,
those.
we
man.
can now leave Brody alone. It will never be mentioned again. He no longer has to reinforce that he is.
Yeah, he no
has
longer
to
hates
own-
Hanukkah.
He no
I
longer
just
has
hate
to
funny
own
games.
hating Hanukkah
Yeah.
because we have pushed him into a corner for too long.
Yeah, I wonder what my scores say, but I would probably give funny games. I think I would give it a lower
5.
score now. I think I probably gave it like a 4.1.
What do you think it
something.
is right now? I am looking at your score.
Right, I'll tell you right. What
No,
I think
what
the
do you-
score is,
what
or
would
what do
you
I
give
think
it
I
right
would
now?
give it? What would I give it right now? I would give it a 3.4.
For funny games?
Yeah.
What do you think you gave it?
4.0.
You gave it a 3.6.
Oh my god! So it's only 0.1 lower. That's actually crazy. That's how consistent I am. Let's fucking go.
Point
Steven's
two.
actually so big
Go.
for his
Steven
scores,
Steven
dude.
is such a good guy because he's so consistent.
Yeah, Steven consistently
Yeah.
loses these podcasts.
What the hell? I've won so
Nuh-uh.
many.
Steven wins.
Yes,
Steven
I've won.
Steven
I've
won
won.
more.
I've
You won a more.
You won a more,
I've
and that's-
I've won a more. I've won others too.
No.
I think I won Murmur of the Heart,
Dude,
maybe
I think
Viva
you
Sophie.
won-
You
all
won
won
song
Wings
to
of
song.
Desire.
You won song to song. You went song to song.
One.
Amor.
You want
We
Amor?
already know Amor.
Two.
Oh no, wait, hold on. But I think you might have tied with Amor. I don't even have it here.
Look, Steven.
What?
Wait, I thought Amor you gotta give
You
it
did,
a 5.
but someone
gave it a
else
5.
might have given
I
you a
don't think
5. I
anyone
don't
else
have it
gave it a
written
5.
down for some reason.
I doubt it because it was
freaking
crazy that I
whitewashing
gave it a
it.
5,
Whitewashing
and I
it.
stand by that.
You
Look, it
tied
was
me
so
with
insane
Vertigo.
that I liked this movie.
You did not.
Let's
You
just
did
let's
not
just
win
only
Murmur of the
re-
Heart.
Let's all.
Brody beat
Oh, who
you
won?
by point
Brody?
1. And you gave your
Okay.
score first.
I wonder if
Yeah,
he went
did.
after me.
Yeah, but dude, I always look. I'm gonna tell you, I almost always have a score in my head at the start of these podcasts. I just want
You always
I-
stick to it.
Yeah.
I basically never, except for Seventh Continent. I felt like I had an idea of what I was gonna give it going into it.
What would you give it right now?
It's what's funny is I think after our conversation the number went up, and what would I give it
Yeah.
now? I'd give it a 3.0.
Oh,
And
Well,
what I give
you
it
gave it a
3.6.
3.3.
Let me just put this out there.
Oh,
Let me
okay,
just put
yeah.
this one thing out there.
Yeah.
I was reading through the comments of a YouTube video with Hanukkah.
My Instagram posts.
And by YouTube comment section I meant Steven's Instagram post comments. No, I was reading through a YouTube comment section of an interview with Hanukkah, and in the comments somebody said that they thought the best Hanukkah films were Amor and Seventh Continent.
Let's go. Let's go.
Which I'd
That's so funny.
I'd never seen anybody be
What a-
so adamantly put Seventh Continent in the top of Hanukkah, which I thought Troy would like that.
Yeah, I do. Seventh
I
Continent.
mean, yeah, I was-
for me, his best is in no order. Amor, Piano Teacher, Seventh Continent.
Yeah. But sorry, I thought I'd say that. But then look, the video that it was under was the video that I don't want to look. Nobody scream at me when I say nobody argue. All right, we're not starting. This is not to start an argument because we're not going to discuss it at all. But
I barely argue.
on this podcast.
Why would you say that, dude? Why would you even say that?
I'm already tired. I'm already tired.
But you know the Hanukkah quote about the.
Oh, no.
Don't
Oh,
tell me
no.
you're going to talk about music
no.
right now.
No,
No,
about Schindler's List.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, does anybody actually know what interview it's from?
Yes. Round table.
It's with a
from-
round table in which
from Tiny Dick.
he says that, and then is immediately responded to by John Krasinski,
Mm-hmm.
Who-
It's so cringe, dude. It's insane.
and it is so bad.
It's the
It
worst
is
video
so
ever.
bad, and it's so funny. It's so funny because like obviously Hanukkah, like you see him in interviews and you're like, wow, this guy's like legit, like he's the real deal. He's so based, whatever. But then but seeing him next to somebody like John Krasinski and hearing John Krasinski be forced to by the moderator to respond to him just like shows the. I mean, I don't know. It just Hanukkah just seemed so out of place in this room.
John is
or whatever.
particular.
Who else is
There's
in
a
the room?
bunch, but it's like a huge. It's like mostly directors and John
But, like,
Krasinski.
Yeah.
Well, John Krasinski's
yeah,
a director.
that's right.
now.
He's
That's the
right.
thing.
John
Yeah.
Krasinski also probably no diss, but also of all the people who could have responded, he's probably straight off the bat someone that you're not expecting a ton from.
Yeah.
I wish
Damn,
Spielberg
dude.
could have responded.
He read Infinite Jest. He read Infinite
Why
Jest,
do
dude.
you,
Oh,
what?
wow.
Why do you,
That's it.
He likes
That's-
David Foster Wallace, dude.
That's so sick.
Dude,
you mean
fuck
David
you guys,
Wallace
dude.
from Corporate?
Yeah.
Listen, if you can tell me one
Wait.
reason why I should like John Krasinski, I'll give you.
Because he's literally you and and
It's literally Pam.
That's gonna get cut out. No names.
I got the time.
Can I get a time?
But
Thank
this
you.
conversation
Time.
stays. We'll just bleep out. We'll bleep
Yeah,
out.
and make it a loud ass bleep.
Yeah.
Make it a
Okay,
loud.
I
Destroy
can
the
do that
audience.
as long as I get the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Closing thoughts.
Can I ask one Hanukkah question before closing?
Yeah,
thoughts?
he won't answer, but
Is Is Hanukkah broadly anti-music?
Anti-Semitic.
He's very particular in his
Yeah,
anti-Semitism.
is he just kind
Very,
of like
very
generally
nuanced.
anti-Semitic, or does he have like a more complicated theory? Like,
Yeah.
No. Does he just like dislike?
Does he
music
just
and
hate
film?
you?
Fuck you, man. Does he just
Brody be like literally me.
does he dislike music and films as a whole, or does he enjoy using this as a constraint when he's making
The former.
films? The former.
The
Okay.
Informant. Matt Damon's best movie. Watch it.
Okay. So I dislike funny games and I dislike that take. Okay. Now we can do closing thoughts.
Yeah, I just don't resonate with that
It's
take
not-
at all.
Yeah.
But I think I can understand the philosophy behind it, and yet I still don't resonate with it.
I resonate with it a little bit.
wait, Troy,
Do you
you're
resonate
telling
with
me
it,
when
Troy?
Bergman has used music that you're like, oh, I wish he didn't.
No.
Or Trier.
I don't resonate. I'm not.
Or Trier at the opening of Antichrist when it's the most based and epic thing imaginable.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say I resonate.
Or when you're literally making a film
right.
and you literally
No,
That's cool. No one
wait,
actually
Troy,
wants
say
to
it, say it.
know.
No, Troy, please say it.
Okay, yeah,
Troy,
I wouldn't.
please
Yeah,
say
I
it.
wouldn't say I agree that I am generally negative or have negative attitudes towards music in film. Rather, I generally agree with the description of music in film given by Hanukkah. And you can agree with a take, but maybe disagree on the resulting prerogative. Is that right?
But the thing is that the take, yes, for sure. But the thing is that was always the contention, and it was always like, of course, music is this, but so is like the following.
Yeah,
argument,
but that's
you
wrong.
know, that's why I don't resonate.
Yeah,
with it.
but maybe one day we'll hash that out. But I still
Maybe someday
still
we'll
stand
actually read
opposite to you
Hanukah's
and Brody.
essays instead of going off of like translated interview questions, because I feel
We
like
could talk.
because I feel like often when we talk
Das
about what
Borgen.
Hanukkah thinks, we're going off of like short answers to questions in verbal interviews, though the guy actually has like written essays
Yeah, and I
that
have
like
them.
I don't know. I feel like we don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe if we want to have that conversation, like we should stop arguing about like what his hypothetical specific point is instead of.
I actually
you know what his essay is going to
disagree
be?
more.
You know what his essay? You know what his essays would be like?
Yes.
His essays would literally be like Seventh Continent, where he's like, no one can get it, no one can understand it,
What?
dude, no one gets it, and so you just read a paper where he basically says, no one understands why this happens.
Yeah.
Wait,
And then he'll make a whole essay about
I
it.
don't. I'm not sure what Steven's point is, but I think John.
I'm literally
I know,
making.
but
a joke.
I'm saying I don't get
Yeah.
the joke. I don't
Just
get the joke.
like
I know it's a joke, but I don't get it.
because we once like talked on the Seventh Continent podcast, like
what his point was.
we were talking about like the point of Hanukkah, and then you brought up some interview you read or something you'd read about him, and there was something about one cannot understand why a family would ever do this, not to spoil Seventh
Well,
Continent.
they
for
watched
people,
the podcast in order.
but like one cannot understand it. That's like part of the point. Like, and so all these newspaper articles would attempt to explain it, but one cannot understand this tragedy or something. So that's the basis. But I was making literally a non sequitur joke. But that's the basis or like the origin of the content of the joke.
To respond to John, I think we have to go one step further. I think the mistake we make is not that we don't look at Hanukkah's writings. The mistake we make is arguing about what Hanukkah thinks. We should just argue about the thing.
Well, no. I mean, because no. Look, that's fine. We can talk about the movie as the movie. We don't have to talk about the movie as what Hanukkah intended or something like that, or purports to have intended or something like that. But that's different than talking about what Brody just brought up as his general take about music. It's like that, and that's what I was responding to. I was not responding to like we should figure out exactly what Hanukkah intended for his films or something like that.
I almost don't want to know.
about his more general takes.
Well, even if
philosophy.
even if we say, okay, let's forget, we're not talking about the movie anymore. We're just talking about the Hanukkah.
Yeah.
But then we're gonna come to some kind of ideas about what he thinks, and then
Well, sure.
Can change the
I mean,
movie.
I'm not.
I care about the movie more than
I am not that interested in. I'm not that
Why are you
interested.
so
I mean, maybe
obsessed?
I'm interested. I'm not that interested. More.
Look,
I mean, I'm kind of.
Sorry.
I mean, I'm in the context of like it's kind of more like I like his films. He seems like an interesting guy. I'm interested in what he thinks, but like, yeah, I mean, I guess there is some. Like, I agree there is some hesitation because I don't want it to shape the way in which I watch his films too much.
I'll send you the book.
I will say, I need not contend with the idea so long as so long as he ranks extremely high films which employ music.
Which I continue
As
to
long
do.
as
Which
he's
I
giving-
continue to do.
Right, which you continue
And
to
he-
do, so I
he
don't even
owns
have to take
himself.
the take at all. Like
Dude,
I
that
don't even
is
care.
so.
I don't even care.
That
about
is
it.
so true.
I'm glad.
Sorry, not to discredit what John said. If we want to have a Hanukkah cast, I'm down, where we just talk about ideas / reference what he says,
I'm willing
And-
to talk
and-
more
and-
in depth eventually
and
about
like
the music thing.
drop turds on Hanukkah. I'm down. I'll
What is
drop a turd on him.
What is the thing? I feel like the Hanukkah thing. Like, I mean, like I don't even understand. I don't even totally understand like what his point. If he's talking about like more generally speaking about like, or if he's saying like more generally speaking about like like a Hollywood
anti-Semites.
or no, sorry, not more generally, more particularly speaking about
Jews.
certain kinds of films or most films' employment of music or something like that, as opposed to being like film should not use music and everyone who uses because that implies that everyone who has and everyone
Yeah.
who will is in the wrong, which I would be
Yeah.
extremely surprised if that was his
Yeah,
actual take.
and then you
I mean, because
And-
like it is super base to just be like, this is like the constraint that I'm using. Here's why I'm deciding not to use it. Like that is crazy based. If that was the take.
I guess I don't even know if that's that based.
But
Okay,
it's true
it's
and or
sorry. Maybe it's
powerful.
not.
Okay.
It is way better than broad statements. I'm willing to wrap this
All
up.
right.
By the way.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be really weird if he was just doing it because he wanted the constraints.
People.
Why not just
No,
make the
people
best?
do
Why not
that.
just make
No,
the
hold
best?
on.
Yeah,
Why,
people,
Constraints
no, this
are
is
based.
Churs.
no,
Constraints
no.
are super
Why,
based.
no, why not just make the best movie possible and not
Because
have
You
constraints?
constraints
need
will help you do
constraints
that.
in order to make the best movie possible.
Yeah,
So
I
true.
bet Trier's movies have gotten better as constraints have been lifted, and then imposed. And I wonder if any of his constraints are philosophical constraints, or if they are, because this Hanukkah one is like a philosophical constraint.
That's true.
It just seems weird to enjoy films that are like employing music and respecting how like what they add to the film, and then artificially choosing not to use it versus imposing on yourself constraints so that you have to work with creativity within a medium for like when you go out to go do something.
But
you know?
I think they do. I think they consequentially do very similar things, if not the same thing, because, for example, in Amor, he's got this whole like more like rigorous philosophy about like the manipulation of the viewer, all this stuff, and how that represents itself is that he wants to do as little edits and cuts as possible, which I mean, yeah, but then how this, and then that may have made the film better because he has to work within these constraints and has to make things better in different ways because of these constraints. But the ending result might not be, look, the film was better because I felt less manipulated because of these cuts, but it's like the film was better because there was some kind of formal constraint, some kind of form that he was holding himself to.
Yeah, well,
Rather
yeah,
than
but
like
that's
arbitrary. I mean, not to say that Trier does arbitrary constraints because he doesn't, but like, yeah. Like
Yeah, but the distinction between the philosophical versus the material is important there. So like the fact that Hanukkah, if Hanukkah made Amor and he loves how it turned out, and the reason he didn't do lots of things was because of a philosophical commitment, I think that's different than setting out to have like a more like material commitment to like not having many cuts or something. Like to not want to manipulate someone and that being the limitation versus not wanting to do many cuts period because it instills something else because it creates an emotional connection or something. There's like a difference.
Okay, but I think that the manipulation thing is probably like, I mean, that's like step one. That's like the fundamental thing, and then the reason how he arrives at no cuts or less cuts, less edits is something that is more. I mean, are other stipulations that are serving the more fundamental philosophical constraint, you know? I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there, I mean, I don't know. I don't even think we necessarily disagree. Um, about that there's a difference between the actual constraint itself and the philosophical constraint. That all I'm saying is that there's a path between them, that one is results from the other, unless it's like the material constraint is like arbitrary.
I have to get out of here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. John?
Closing thoughts
Yeah.
in order or whatever.
Movie was good. Movie was awesome. I feel less worried about my emotional alienation from the film, because yeah, I don't know. I mean, we talked about it, and I feel much more satisfied that the film was doing what it was supposed to be doing as I watched it, like with me or whatever, and that my reactions were. Yeah, I don't know. I like the film. I thought it was great. Not my favorite Hanukkah, but I'm very glad it exists, and I'm glad that he made it. And I'm glad that I watched it, and I'm glad we talked about it. My score
Yay.
is 3.4.
Okay. Impressive score, John. I'll tell
Yeah,
you what,
really
I thought,
impressive. That was
I
a
thought,
strong score.
I thought you were gonna give it like a. I thought you were gonna give it like a 1.8.
I thought you were gonna score like a 1 or like a 0.2 or something.
By your tone this whole podcast, I thought you were gonna give it a 1. I'd give it. Let's see. Obviously, a pretty cool movie. Not my favorite movie at all. Probably won't ever watch it again.
Oh, really?
Happy I watched it. Yeah, I don't know. I got shit to do.
There's lots of movies to watch.
There's lots of movies to watch.
There's no shortage of movies to watch.
What's wrong with the castle?
Come on.
I'll give it a 3.1.
I'm also glad, talking about this, that I was not alone in my general confusion about like the plot. Like, what's going on exactly? Although I did totally miss that one part with that guy laying on the bed. It was, so that went over my head.
Just like K.
Just like K. I mean,
Yeah, in fact, Brody, I think you understood the film even better because you were so closely in tune. You were so on the same wavelength as K.
Synced up.
That
so
is actually
synced up
so
that you missed the point of the movie. Like him. No, I'm just kidding.
That is so incredibly true. But unfortunately, I'm losing so far. I'm giving it a 3.0.
And here comes the big guns. Troy's about to blow us all out of the water with the 4.8.
With the 5.
I think Troy's gonna be the biggest loser. That's my
2.8.
Guessed?
2.8?
2.8.
2.8.
I've said what I had to say. I
Lowest
think
scoring
it is.
the lowest.
I think it's
scoring Hanukkah
incredible.
film yet.
It's not the lowest scoring Hanukkah film. It is the one that we've talked about, but I don't
What's
want
the
to bring it
lowest?
up because you
What's
haven't
the
seen it
lowest?
yet. So I want to let you have a chance to enjoy
And we're
it.
never,
It's
we're
time of
never
the
going to
wolf.
see
It's
it.
time of the wolf.
Thank
Son
you,
of a-
John.
You're
Thank
such a
you,
wealth
John.
of
Dude,
shit.
so bang. Dude, John is like
All right.
came through.
Yeah, John really did.
I didn't actually know. I mean, there's only
I hope
there's
you
only
think back on this tonight and realize that you've done wrong.
there were only 2 options, and I
No,
guessed.
I've told you I don't like it. Anyway, 2.8. This movie is.
You told me
This
you don't
is
like
incredible, given the the project and the general scope. But if I'm just giving my my overall score, I'm not in love with it. But yeah.
it. It is a TV film. It's
Whoa,
got TV.
whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
it
whoa,
looked-
whoa,
it's
whoa,
got
whoa.
It does. That was
It-
so cool. That was so cool to learn.
Anyway.
It looked. Look, guys, we can all agree that it looked bad and cheap, and
No.
that everything about.
No,
Oh
okay,
yeah, that's
look,
that's what I
look.
meant. Yeah, that's what TV means.
What's
Troy
more
means
important?
that
There's
it
something
looked
more
cheap.
important to talk about right now, and that is our
What Troy used to
announcement
believe.
that soon we will be doing a shot-by-shot walkthrough of a film, and it's going to be so awesome. And I actually don't know if we've already talked about the upcoming Christmas special. Steven, are you going to say something about that or no?
I was gonna mention also in an upcoming podcast we're gonna talk about the distinction between the real, the real in cinema, and we're gonna have a long debate about
What
what
is
the real
real?
is.
It should be.
A cinematographical special. But yeah.
Just a podcast that isn't
Yeah.
about a movie.
What is real?
That's
Yeah.
what we need to
Which-
do.
So true.
Just have a talk and have
Which
a talk.
reel
Yes,
is
yes,
the
yes.
real? The real.
Anyway, which Christmas special this year? I know you're all still reeling from last year's special, but this year's Christmas special,
Did we have one?
you weren't
real
there,
and
Brody.
raw. It's gonna be raw and the
This
real.
year's Christmas special, we're going to be going over the complete version of Fanny and Alexander,
Was there really one that
The
I wasn't
actual
there
version.
for?
the actual version.
Whoa.
the real version.
All you
Wait,
idiots
what
out
was
there
last
thinking,
Christmas?
I've
Just
seen
wait,
Fanny and Alexander.
Brody,
I've
just
seen Fanny
wait.
and Alexander.
I'm sorry.
I doubt it. I bet you watched the theatrical cut. Ugh. And you're probably American too.
I'm looking this up.
Dude, most of our, I mean,
Hmm?
most of our audience is not American.
Yeah. Thank
So,
God.
So we're
What
talking
are they,
about, we're
John?
talking
What are
yeah,
they,
we're talking about
John?
those idiots.
No, shout out to Czech Republic. Shout out
What
to
are
the
they,
Czech
John?
Republic. We
No,
love you.
to the idiots who are Americans who
Shout out to
watch the
thank you so
theatrical.
much.
Listen, we love
Thank
the
you,
Czech
Czech
Republic. To
I
all
thought
the
you were
Czech
calling every
audience out
Indian
there,
an
we love
idiot.
you. Also, Scream, recent podcast, there was a 7-day period where our audience was 100% female. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That's
Sorry
ironic
guys.
that
Sorry
you're
guys.
right.
Those are my different accounts. My bad.
All
Those are my
right.
alternate
Does anyone
accounts.
else have any one last? Let me just say this one more thing.
Troy did not say thank you, Steven.
Yeah, I did.
Did anybody else
Did
pick
I?
up on that? No,
Oh.
you didn't.
I believe you did, but
No, you didn't say thank you, Steven.
All
we
right,
can listen to it
well,
again.
look,
I'll-
shout
no,
out to
I'm willing to be
Steven
proven
for the
wrong.
music.
I'm willing to be
thank
proven
you.
wrong.
Steven, thank you.
Steven.
Thank you, Steven.
And that's the end of our
Thank
show.
you, and I hope we-
Steven.
And
I hope we keep saying thanks.
Bye-bye.
And let me say this one more thing.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've just got off the phone with the Pentagon. We have unjustifiably murdered Osama bin Laden.
We murdered someone in
Unjustified,
cold blood.
unjustifiably. we
Ladies and gentlemen.
We have killed Osama bin Laden without first charging him of any crime. Ladies and gentlemen, he has not stood a
Dude.
trial by his peers.
fun fact.
his peers.
Fun fact, my very first Facebook post was a plea to
Osama bin Laden.
like a plea to like the government that they should have put Osama bin Laden in jail instead of killing him.
Are you serious?
Birdie.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. Where'd you get that idea from?
And then I got it was
You're
like
how old? What are you? 13?
12?
12?
Yeah, maybe less. Yeah, like something like that.
That's hilarious.
And then I got a talking to via all of my parents saying that I probably shouldn't be posting things like that, and that's also not a very smart thing to say. And I cried.
Nice.
I haven't posted a political thing since.